Well, hello everybody. It's been a while since I made a video. My apologies for that. Usually I try to do one a week, but I've not made one in a while. One thing and another. Had some health issues that I had to deal with. We've got that fixed now. We're back to working. Going to do a special build today. Some of you out there may know, but I'm a full-time paramedic as well as a full-time blacksmith. And, you know, it's been a challenge dealing with some of the things that this COVID mess has offered up to us in pre-hospital medicine, as well as the things that go on in the to those that work in the hospitals. I could go on a whole rant about some of the things I've seen recently, but I won't. I'm just not going to try to get into that. But what I'm concerned with right now is my work partner. She's been out of work for a month, or maybe a little more than that. I don't know. It's hard for me to keep track of time these days. She's been out of work for at least a month. First she had COVID, and then her significant other had COVID, and now his son's got COVID. And actually, her significant other is in the hospital in ICU, and he's on a ventilator. So she's been having to use a lot of her personal time to deal with this issue. And, you know, that doesn't stop the bill collector from calling. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to go up to the forge. We're going to build a fire. And whatever I make, however it turns out, I'm going to end up putting it up for auction. I'm not going to make a dime on it. Anything that I make is going to go directly to her to help her out. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learned something. Maybe you'll learn what not to do, because I'm liable to make some mistakes. We'll just have to wait and see. I have no plan going into this, so we'll see what happens. And in advance, thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. We need some more subscriptions. We can always use the likes. Be sure and hit the bell so you get notified when we upload future content. Let's go see what happens. We're not going to be using our usual stock today. This is a railroad clip, legally obtained. It's pretty good. It's pretty good steel. It's a mid-carbon, lower end to high carbon steel. It's got some extra metals added to the alloy, makes it really tough. It's kind of rough here. Gonna have to be careful forging this. And we're gonna start out just forging a point on the bar. And that steel is blistering hot. And it's extremely tough to move even with that 4-pound hammer. So, we're just going to work on the profile, and once we get the profile done here, we'll go to the power hammer. I could probably do this a little faster, but I'm taking my time. The last thing I want is a fish lip on the tip. If you're not careful when you're forging a bar like this, you'll end up with a cold shut right on the very end, because the steel will fold down onto itself. But I believe I've just about got this dressed down to where I need it. Get ready to take a little longer heat and go to the power hammer. At this point, I've decided that I'm going to make an integral bolster on this blade. And I'm using that piece of round bar to fuller in what's going to be a finger well, and also the transition between the handle and the blade. Try to keep everything flat, keep everything even. And now we're going to start forging in the handle to blade transition, and stretching the blade out for length. Now all this could be done on the anvil with the hand hammer, but it would take time, and time is always at a premium for me. Those of you that watch the rest of my videos notice that this one's done in a little different style. That's because I've got my daughter out here doing the camera work. Work on the profile a little bit. It's not too bad. Still stretching the blade for length, thinning it down. Got to be careful, make sure it stays centered on that bolster. Want this kind of like a chopper, not quite as much of a point as a chef's knife would have on it. Right now, I am starting the bevels. I'm stretching the blade from the spine down towards the tip, thinning it out, and working the bevel into the blade. These things are tricky. Need to bring that handle down to the spine a little bit. Don't want to bow up between the bolster and the guard. There we go. It's going to even things back up, or between the bolster and the blade. I didn't want to bump up there, so used the fuller and knocked it back down flat. Back to stretching the blade for width and making the bevels. It's not a bad profile. Not for this kind of work. It's going to take quite a bit of cleanup on the grinder anyway. It's getting there. Yeah, altogether, I'm not displeased with how this is working out. Now I'm just planishing hammer marks. Trying to take out some of the worst of the hammer marks, make it easier when I grind. All right, time to work on the handle. So, I'm just going to hack off the excess steel from that railroad clip. Work it back and forth until it breaks off. This is tough stuff. And now we'll start fullering down to make our handle. And you notice I'm leaving the stock thickness, the full thickness, right at the part I'd folded down to make the finger guard. That's going to be our integral bolster. Work things out a little more. Kind of tricky to keep everything centered. Make sure it's right. Now we'll start working on the profile of the handle a little bit. It's not quite as long as it needs to be right now, but it is time to start working this profile. Well, I keep calling it the handle, but I guess the proper term would be the tang. Hey, you guys know what I'm talking about. You folks out there know what I'm saying. Check it for length. Make sure everything's still square and lined up. Let's add a little shape to this handle. Just make it look a little more interesting. Length is good. I'm well happy with the way this is turning out. Let's go back one more time. Make sure everything's flat and straight. Do a little more adjusting. And I believe that'll do. Well, we got that done. More or less, just a rough forging, of course. Right here, it still needs a little tweaking, a little cleanup. I'm going to do most of that with the grinder. You can see that it's going to have an integral bolster. It's thick, it's very thick. And that's okay. Because the old adage is, if fine an edge be yours to win, then first forge thick and then grind thin. There's nothing wrong with spending some time on a grinder. Usually I hate doing it. I try to forge as close to finish as possible, but I just wanted to do something a little different since this is going to be for a different type of use. It's going to be a fairly moderately sized kitchen knife. I'll have to shorten the handle a little bit, do a little final profile grinding, and then work everything else in. Of course, it's been through the normalization cycles, and it should be good to go. If you're still here with me, thanks for watching. It's very much appreciated. Be sure and give us a like. Be sure and subscribe to the channel. Be sure and leave us a comment in the comment section if you just got something to say, or if you'd like to see something in the future, let us know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great evening. God bless.